Hello everyone. So today we will see the one of the most important model in entire networking. It doesn't matter it is IoT networking, computer networking, telecom networking. It is the one of the most important model, that is OSI model. So OSI model, the full form of OSI is nothing but open system interconnection. Open system interconnection. And this started on 1976, and the organization who is working or who is monitoring it was ISO, that is International Standard Organization. So it is a reference model, as I mentioned in my previous video also. It is not an implemented model, it is a reference model. And most widely implemented model is nothing but TCP/IP. So in next video we will understand how these two relates. So in this video let's understand each and every layer of OSI model. So I will be explaining the entire flow and how data transfer from one device in a network in an internet to the other device end to end using OSI model. And I won't be jumping deep into the theory and explaining advantages, disadvantages of each layer's working and mechanism. So I would appreciate if you go to our website Skillanything and read the theory in detail. But today I will guarantee you that after watching this video, you will understand how OSI model works. Okay, so let's start. Assume there is one sender and there is one receiver. Okay, so sender want to send some data to receiver. So sender is like, let's use OSI model and send it over the internet. So assume sender is sending the mail or maybe transferring some big file. Okay, sender is transferring some big file. So it will start from the application layer, correct? Because in any system, end user interacts with the applications, and application layers, applications are the software components that interacts with application layer. So it is about transferring the file. So user decide to use the FTP protocol. Okay, so here it is decided, then files are sent to the next layer. This is the presentation layer. So in presentation, what happens? In presentation layer, encryption and decryption happens. So what does it mean? So file may be in different formats. Files may be .txt file. It may be MP3 file, and so on and so forth. But when things are transferring in network, we need some standard format, some standard data format. So that format creation and converting all the files into the standard network format, that job is done by presentation layer. So you can say formatting is done by presentation layer. After that, there is a session layer. So what session layer do? So session layer starts a session, and this session will be end-to-end session. Okay, so session layer starts a session on its side initially, and this will be end-to-end session. This session will start and will end when all the data is transferred successfully to the receiver. So it starts this session, and what happens next? Also, this session layer provides the logical ports. For an example, SMTP have different ports, FTP have different ports. Similarly, HTTP have different port. So all these logical ports, everything is provided by the session layer. So here we begin the session for FTP, assume. Then we go to the transport layer. So transport layer is heart of the entire model. Okay, so here the process happens is known as segmentation. So in transport layer, what happens? There is a data, right? We have the data, huge chunk of data. But transferring this entire data in a network is not very feasible, right? And not very efficient. So what happens? The transport layer, what it do? Instead of sending this entire chunk of data, it divides the entire data into segments, these small segments, and assign some number. Let's say this is packet number 1, this is 2, this is 3. Okay, so that when it reach to the receiver side, it can be recollected into proper order. So transport layer do the segmentation, and in transport layer only there is two very popular protocol, that is TCP and UDP. So again, we will discuss this too in future. Basically, if you want to secure and guarantee data transfer, you will use the TCP because it uses the acknowledgement mechanism. That is, if something you are transferring, if that bit is received and acknowledgement come back, then only you send the next package. Else you resend the current package. Okay, UDP is more about speed. So what happens? It keep on throwing the data at receiver side. So we will discuss this thing in details in future lectures. So let's see. So transport layer converted this into the segments and assigned the numbers to the segments so that it can be recollected and rejoined at receiver side. So that is done. Then the data goes to the network layer. So in network layer, what happens? In network layer, the additional data regarding receiver's IP, I will write it RIP. It is not rest in peace, it is receiver's IP, and the sender's IP is attached. And though more metadata got attached, but this too is important because in network, as I explained, the receiver and sender's IP is important. So it attached to the all the packages, receiver's IP and sender's IP. After that, this once the receiver's IP and sender's IP is attached to the segment, we call it package. And this package is transferred to the data link layer. So what happens in data link layer? In data link layer, we check for errors and we do the error corrections. So once the error corrections and error detections are done, we know this end result, that is end package, that is ready to transfer as a frame. And from the data link layer it go to the physical layer, it get converted into the bits, and these bits are transferred to the receiver via the network. Okay, maybe via the wires or maybe via other means wireless, and this data will come to this physical layer. Again, here in this physical layer, what happens? Bits are again converted into the frames. Okay, here converted into the frame. Again, data link layer ensure there is no error. Okay, and send this package here. So here when package came, network layer ensure to and from, okay, it is for me, then I will accept it and send it to the transport layer. Transport layer C, okay, this is segments. All the segments have some numbering and belongs to the same message, or it is from the same data. So it again convert this three segment into this single data. Again here it acknowledge the session layer. So session layer, we know there is a session between the sender and receiver, right? So once all the data, once all the data is came, so what happens? Assume first package arrive here. Okay, first package arrive here, it go till transport layer, correct? In transport layer it give the acknowledgement, okay, data has been arrived via session layer, correct? So once all the data, all the package has came, what session layer do? Session layer tells, okay, we got all the package, we can end this session now, right? We can end this session. So once this session is ended, then we go for presentation layer. In presentation, decryption or reformatting occur. So we have some txt file, some mp3 file. So again, data is converted into this format and data goes to the application layer where user can consume this data. So I hope you understood the entire working mechanism and how each things occur. To again summarize quickly what was happening. In application layer, we deals with application level protocol like FTP, SMTP, and this stuff. User interact with application layer. Then it goes to presentation layer where formatting occurs. In session, then it goes to session layer where end-to-end session between the connect between sender and receivers are created. After that, it goes to the transport layer. In transport layer, segmentation occurs. Then it goes to network layer. In network layer, the to and from address or receiver's IP and sender's IP is attached. After that, once this is attached, we need segment, we call segment package. After network layer, it goes for data link layer. In data link layer, error detection and correction occurs. Then we call it frame. And from data link layer, it goes to the physical layer. And physical layer via the bits, all the data is transferred via the wired or wireless connection to the receiver. In receiver side, from physical layer, data is again converted into the frames. In data link layer, again it checks all the frames are correct or not. Then in network layer, it checks, okay, this data is for me or not. Once this is also done, data is for this receiver only, then it wait till all data comes. At transport layer, it get transferred to the transport layer, and here it wait all the, when all the packages are arrived, it clumps up all the packages in right order and make original data, but still this data in network understandable format. Okay, so again in session layer, transport layer say, okay, hey, I got all the data. So session layer say to this session, okay, we got all the data transfer has been done successfully, let's end this session. Session terminated. Once that is done, it goes to presentation layer. In presentation layer, again, the data is converted to the original format. Once that is done, it sends it to the application layer where user can consume it. So that's it for this video. I hope you understood the OSI model. It is very logical and easy to understand model, and believe me, it is one of the most important model in entire networking. So I will really appreciate if you read more theory about this model from our Skillanything website to get even deeper understanding. In case you have any doubt, any problems, you can always reach out to us by sending your comments in feedback of Skillanything lessons or dropping your comment on YouTube video. So that's it for this video. See you in the next video. Till then, bye.